Well, hello there. Uh, well, it's been quite some time, hasn't it? Now, I'm gonna just reduce it a little bit more there. That should be fine. You can probably hear the sounds outside a bit more. Henry, I gotta move it a little more. Now they can definitely see you better. Look at you. Look at you. Okay, let me just get everything prepared. Window capture. Ooh, a marine biologist. Hoorah. Okay. It's been a while. I had my parents over, so I couldn't really do much. I mean, I could have edited some episodes of, anything. But honestly, I just wanted to enjoy my time with them and not think about anything hard, like anything YouTube or Twitch wise, because I feel like I would just be stressed out or I would just force myself to do it. And now that I'm back alone, as you can probably tell, I'm not in the usual living room anymore. I'm in my bedroom because I did buy this table from IKEA and I also built it because it is fun for me to build furniture like this. And I moved it to this room because all this shit before was on the dinner table, just smack on the dinner table. And I will be honest, wasn't really the most optimal place. Of course, now I'm stuck more in my room because I have everything here, but it's a bit easier. And oh yeah, this will probably change in the upcoming months anyway. Like, I won't be living in this specific place well, I'll still be in the region, but I won't be in this specific place anymore. In, I hope, July, end of July. And then once I have that place, because we bought it, I'm renting this one, but I'm gonna buy the next place. So hopefully I can then deck out the office, wherever this all will go. I can deck it fully out, like lights and all that shit in the background, and make it a bit more fancy looking. But for now, we're here for one reason only: SCPs. Oh, it's been so long. It's been almost 2 weekends. Because I didn't do it last weekend, and today is Sunday, so it almost didn't happen. But we're starting fresh. We reached the 900s, which, now that I say that, I will need to check real quick. Which one was, because the person who made one of the SCPs that I already read, she did one of the 900s, and I want to keep. There she is. It's a she, right? I'm not being an absolute dickhead. I think it's a he. Them. Just to not absolutely destroy myself with this person, especially because they interacted with me, and I don't want to insult them or offend them at all. So yeah, we read Dixie's Funland and Efficient Wash Bin of this person, but we won't get to any of this anytime. Well, we will get to this soon because they have 935. That's literally next weekend. That's the next weekend that we get to. Wait, is it? No, it's 2 weekends away because we read the 910s and the 920s next weekend, and the 930s the weekend afterwards. So that's happening. Okay. Gotta keep that in mind though. But yeah, okay, 5 minutes have passed. That's usually why I try to start reading, just so to keep it all in good time. So how about we start with the 900s SCPs, shall we? And also, exactly, that's what I was worried about. Oh, that's nice. forgot to share this on Discord. I'm doing this. You can see I'm out of practice already. It's been a while. Okay, let me just real quick. Real quick. There it is. Yeah. Bum. Bum 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 bum. Bam. Bam. Jimmy! I forgot what. Oh shit, where's that here? Here we go. Thank the Lord, I found it all. Alright then. Now we can officially begin. The City of the Sun is the first one, and occasionally we have those that look like this. And the picture seems familiar. Okay, this is a decently like, what is this? For new users, okay. Okay, I got a message, is that? Yes it is. Okay, I see how it, okay, no. Well, let's get into it. Containment class Euclid. Disruption class Vlam. of VLAM. Risk class Danger. Assigned site 121. Site director Dr. Charles Little pending. Research head Senior Research Catherine Kip pending. Assigned task force MTF 87 Analog Freaks. Special containment procedures. I need to like lean back because like there's not a lot of space. So hold on. I have to check if I do this. Does my voice get captured well enough? Because okay, hold on. This will be best way to do it, right? But that's annoying. That is very much annoying. Okay, good. As you can tell, I'm a professional. Okay, how about the? Oh no, that's worse. That is definitely not how you want me to. How you want to hear me. So I'm just go back to this. Okay, I think I just have to hope for the best in this scenario that you guys can hear me well enough from this. I really need to get a microphone that actually has a different sensibility options, because if this is not like this all the time, which usually there will be a crane that I can just do this with, it ain't going. I always end up leaning forward because I'm scared it's not gonna be loud enough. Unless. Yeah, no, it's maxed out. That's another thing. It's maxed out. There we go. Okay, no more messing around. It's been 11 minutes since I've been postponing this. Analog Freaks, special containment procedures. Site 78, Site 121 has been constructed 10 kilometers from SCP-900 in order to maintain reliable observation at all times. The walls of SCP-900 are off limits to all unauthorized individuals. Due to the nature of SCP-900, SCP-900-1 has been allowed free roam on the island located at the epicenter. Is it epicenter? No, not epic. Enter. Epicenter of SCP-900. Interaction with the -1 outside of official interviews are discouraged. No electronic devices will be brought within SCP-900 except for the sake of testing. Personnel on the island may communicate with Site 78, Site 121, through the use of a heliograph located on it. Construction or demolition within SCP-900 is not to be attempted under any circumstances. Site 78, photograph taken on the 6/21st 8th. I don't know if this is American or European way to read it, so I'm just going to say it that way. Description: SCP-900 is a partially submerged city located within the Pacific Ocean, approximately 300 kilometers east of Helen Reef. The area of SCP-900 is estimated to be roughly 17 kilometers squared. That's a big area. that is a very big area indeed. There's a lot of giant SCPs in the ocean. SCP-900 is estimated to have been constructed between. Okay, so it's a construction, but it's also that much. It's kilometers, not meters. So that's a massive. Unless it means like the area of effect, because if it was the area of like it takes up, however, that's what I assume. But okay, constructed between 1135 and 1285 BC and destroyed between 360 and 215 BC. Surviving architecture within SCP-900 does not match any known civilization at the time. I've forgotten City of the Sun. I've forgotten to guess what it might be, which I can still do. I still have no idea what it is. So, I mean, it says okay, partially submerged city. Yeah. Oh no, okay, wait, hold on now. Duh. Okay, now I understand. I really blanked out of my mind at the city. So, it's a city that is that big and was constructed that time. Okay, you can tell I'm not fully there just yet, but I'll get there. An island measuring approximately 5 kilometers squared is located at the center of SCP-900. -1, a female humanoid is the sole resident of SCP-900. That must be lonely. Must be a lonely time. Can you imagine? We have a city that's the size of 70,000 kilometers squared, and you're the only person in that city? Ooh, no thank you. -1 speaks exclusively in a previously undiscovered language, which has been referred to by -1 as Burbak. Working with the Department of Anomalous Communication and Relations has allowed for conversation between -1 and Site 78, Site 121. See addendum 3 for more details. I assume Site 78 sunk. That's why it's being crossed out. Because you have a photo here where there is a... What's that actually called? I never really... Now that I think about it, I know in Metal Gear Solid 5 you land on these things. And I know in Spider-Man Shattered Dimension you fight Deadpool on all these things. But I actually never heard what they are called. Or maybe I did hear what they are called, but I just don't recall it. And yeah. So I assume this fell down. Any individual who attempts to harm -1 or a structure on this island will suffer immediate cardiac incineration. Salt water will manifest in the lungs of any individual who attempts to create a structure on SCP-900. Wait, but individual, not in the... Okay. Who attempts to create a structure on... So they just basically drown whenever they try to build something. But reasons for these events are currently unknown. But this has been build on top of it. So how did that work? Did they just sacrifice people until it was finished, or did they? Honestly, I don't even know how those things get built. So maybe they don't get built the way I think they do. Maybe they get built like in a way that like kind of like you have a helicopter that brings the material and you have like exactly in it. But that would still kill the individual, right? Because it still is building something on top of the. Or maybe this side is not close enough to this area of effect. That's how they're building it. Maybe it's just like right outside. The boundaries of SB900 are marked by disruption of electronic equipment, including but not limited to loss of function, shutdown, distortion, or amplification of display or audio devices, etc. I hope you guys know. You probably will. I have the window open because like I've been playing some Apex just a moment ago and it got really heated. I think like it was getting really good, like we were in the last squads and we almost won, but then we didn't, and now warm. Occasionally the distortion of electronic devices will produce an image, word or sentence. Oh wait, will produce an image, word or sentence. See it in the one for more details. The frequency of such disruption increases the closer said equipment is brought to the center of SB900. All electronic objects brought into the island will cease functionality. Analysis of the equipment after failure has found evidence of salt water spontaneously appearing within the circuitry. Addendum 1. A partial list of recordings created through the anomalous effect on electronics can be found below. A full list is available upon request from the SCP-999 Research Head. So before we do that though, here it says, this is a picture, a submerged structure located 125 meters off the shore of SCP-900. Architectural evidence suggests that the structure was constructed roughly 1,500 years after the fall of SCP-900. Okay, this now is a list, okay? Well, it appears to be the music played by a drum with a person singing, invader, distortion, flee. These are all like, those are recordings, right? Yeah. Distorted, flee, run, retreat, murderer, crowd people talking, no individual words can be made out, do not discuss / interfere with the trader, can be distorted as if on water, not yours, untranslatable, and here's a footnote, refers to a concept inherent in the religion of SCP-900 as a Naktumken, or a person's ascendance to the realm of Matahori, the sun god after death. That's why the city of the sun, the sun god. Okay. Drowning, death, why? Gather, keep, protect, army / prison, blasphemy. And then do. Forward. The following transcript is a reader report made by Agent Tenor of MTF 77 Analog Freaks. Of note, this report details the first expedition onto the island within SB900 on the first contact with -1. So 87 is Analog Freaks and now 77? Is that a typo? Or I assume it is. I assume like I might be wrong. Of note, this report is the first expedition in the island within SB900 and the first known contact with -1. I'll be right back. Okay. Asian tenor sits facing the camera in a metal chair in front of a great wall. His eyes are visibly streaming. They open. Say Asian tenor. Okay. Oh, these are all him, I guess. Yesterday, I got back from what was supposed to be a quick, simple exploration of SB900. Since we couldn't carry recording equipment there, someone had to shakes and lifts his head up. We were told that all we had to do was land, set up our heliograph, take note of anything interesting, and come back. No danger, nothing to hurt us. They just needed us to set up some equipment to all clear. A large mirror used for communication by refracting sunlight to a further distance. Oh, so that's what heliograph is. That's pretty cool. Asian Canada Truckers arrived inside. 4-man team, 2 casualties. Asian Canada stops to take a breath. It started off well. Like we expected, things stopped working the closer we got. We lost radio contact by the time we had reached the island. All fine there. We touched land, got out, and started doing our jobs. Agent Briggs and Agent Penny would set up the heliograph. Agent Saxony, I know that technically doesn't say Agent, but I'm reading it out loud, so I'll say it. And we take a look around about 30 meters from the others before we heard a scream. There was. Agent Dennis silent for a moment. He scratches his forehead. Penny was lying on the ground, flailing. Briggs thought he was choking, so he gave him the Hamlet maneuver. Water shot out of his mouth with a bit of blood in it. It seemed to help, and he fell unconscious. Briggs and I tried to give him CPR while Saxony picked up the mirror and signaled an SOS. That's when she came. Oh wait, that's when... Okay. Agent Tennant froze his brow, moves in the seat. A woman by the looks of her. She was walking down the hill towards us, saying something in a language I didn't recognize. She started to point at us and screamed some things, and that's when Saxony broke. Agent Tennant visibly shivers like, we're knocked out. We didn't know what was going on. I think Saxony just panicked, judged her potential threat, and ran to tackle her. And then reached his target. Halfway there, Saxony just collapsed and grabbed his chest. Screamed so loud enough he must have heard it on the boat's heel. Then he was silent. Brown marks started being his body where his veins were, but he couldn't move. Did his veins pop? Agent General closes his eyes and shakes his head. We kept trying to keep Penny alive, but it was no use. Whenever we tried to get him to breathe, he would spurt out blood water. After a couple of minutes, we turned over to look at Saxony and saw his skin had charred. Oh, he got burned from the inside out? How did this happen? Damn. Autopsy said he burned from the inside. Oh my, he did. Wait. Oh. What? Hello? I don't know. For a moment, there was in my voice twice, and I don't know how that happened. Autopsy said he burned from the inside, all while the woman watched. Agent Tennant opens his eyes and stares directly into the camera. Well, I can't do that because I need to read. She watched us while we got onto the boats and kept staring at us as we sailed back to base. I don't know who she is, but I don't trust her. And neither should any of you. This island, this city isn't safe for us. We're meant to be here. After this log, I'm gonna make sure we never come back. Afterward, Agent Tennant would later submit a request to cancel all future expedition into SP-900 after 24 hours of deliberation. This request was denied. Of course they denied it. I mean, it's the Foundation. They don't give two shits about, like, if you feel like... I mean, even if the agent says, like, hey, maybe it's not such a good idea to do this, they'll be like, get back in there. You go back in there and be a man. And I was like, I'd rather be alive than be a man, so just please understand it's not a good idea. No, we do it. You gonna go in there now, you gonna rock that SCP shit up. So, with all due respect, but I'm pretty sure that SCP will rock my shit. Please, sir, let me just leave. Addendum 3. On the 3rd, 17th, 8th, the Ashram was interviewed on its involvement within SB-900 and its role within its society. A transcript of this interview, penned in Burbeck and later translated by researcher Darnley, has been included below. Hello, you have chosen to speak with us. It is necessary. You were not frightened away when you came. May I ask your name, title? Doctor/priest Catherine of the Kip family, scholar of the Horizon/unknown. What is your name, title? I have no name title left. Did you have one once? Yes, Katika. Oh, instead of Catherine, it's Katika. Okay, interesting. Oh, that's her name, Dr. / Priest Katika, servant of the Matharoi, which footnote says Matharoi is a deific embodiment of the sun in the former culture of the SCP-900. Due to its also being the literal word for the sun, it was also referred to as the sun for the rest of the document. What made you? How did I start this with this guy's voice? Hello, you have chosen to speak with us. Did you have? What made you lose it? I defied the untranslatable. What is that? The untranslatable? Yes, we are not familiar with that word. Closed his eyes, remaining silent for several seconds. It is the ascent to the realm of the sun, a journey or purpose. Understood. You have a great reference for the sun. A sense of angry. Of course. Praise the sun. Praise the sun. What role did the sun play in your society? Dash one comes down and sits. My people were not born here in the time of night. Oh boy, this is like a. Okay, well, it's 1,000. Okay, we found ourselves brutalized by horrible animal spirits. Some fled following the path of Lautkem to the east. We found a sacred place. The sun guides us to build the city, and the sea protects us from the animal spirits. Lautkem, similar to Matharoi, Lautkem represented the sea in the culture of SB-900. The two deities were both referred by different religious groups, with Lautkem followers mainly living in near the Den beaches of SCP-900, for the sake of simplicity referred to as the sea for the rest of this document. Sits in silence. What were those animal spirits? Children of darkness, like yourselves, but wilder. Who has told you this? Those that came before you. Do you know the titles of these people? No. All I know is their fate. And what was their fate? What was this fate? Come on, tell me. Drowning, death. Is there anything else you can tell me about them? I can tell you what I told them. Leave this place. Now. Get the fuck out of my front lawn. Closing statement. Following the final statement, Dash 1 refused to continue speaking with Dr. Kip, forcing the interview to terminate. Okay, we have another. There's a lot of addendums to this one. On the 4/5, I think it's 2008. Dash 1 was interviewed within Side 78 by the research head Dr. Catherine Kip. Dash 1 was questioned about SB-900. The following is a list of questions asked by Dr. Kip and their answers, written by Dash 1. Translation and annotation were written by researcher Don Lee. Why are you choosing to speak to us now? You refused to last time. I hoped you would leave. Why do you want us to leave? This land is cursed, drowned. You are in danger here. What kind of danger are you talking about, little missy? What kind of danger are we speaking here? Oh, you know, one person drowning with fucking sea salt in their lungs, the other one being burned from the inside out. I think that's pretty clear danger zones. Dash 1 remains silent, its eyes closed. What's wrong? I am reliving a memory. May I tell you a story lesson? Yes. Several comets eons ago, there was a people. Not a person. A people. They had suffered once under cruel masters and fled to the sea. After a long voyage, they found an island. This island was chosen by the sun and sea, untouched by others, and gave the people a new home. The sun built the people a beautiful city and fields to grow their crops. The sea gave fish and protected the people from others. It was a glorious time. I just now realize I'm reading this about a sunken city in the ocean, and I have beach sound effects in the background. It's all come together. This was all planned by my brilliant mind. I saw the future, and here we are. The people gave back to the gods the best they could. The sun was given a temple atop the highest mountain, and the people listened to its teachings. The sea was given the dead as thanks for its protection. For a long time this was satisfactory, but slowly the sea became jealous of its twin. The sea was supposed to have the drowned dead, but the souls of people would still climb towards the sun. It saw this as an injustice and began to strike the island in its fury. Some people of the city sided with the sea, many out of fear, and marched up the mountain. The sun struck back, burning those who dared turn on it. One priestess of the sun saw this and wept. She wished for peace for her people. In prayer, she wept to her master and pleaded to its infinite wisdom that it could find a way to make peace. The sun did not answer her. The sea did. And the sea's like, listen to me, baby. I'll listen to you all the time. Inspired by the priestess' prayer for peace, the sea claimed the city its twin had built. There was no more fight over. There was no more to fight. There was no more to fight over. The sea left only a mountain and the priestess who had inspired it. Seizing its followers at the last second, the sun banished the priestess from its realm. The sea provided her kindness for a time, but refused to take her the last war, begin anew. She lives on the mountain today, trapped. Are you the priestess? I am. Why do you want us to leave? It's a place for those who need it. Many have come before you, none remain. And what happened to them? The sun won them, the sea claimed them. Is that why one of them got burned from the inside out? Addendum 5, Incident S78-3. Okay. This must be like why it's now side 121 instead of side 78. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. 7/25/2008, side 78, time frame 10:30 till 14:42. Side 78 generator failure, backup generator activated. Report of a storm visible from side 78. Notably, no such storm was observable on satellite maps at the time. Site director Charles Little reported missing. Side 78 reports being under a heavy storm. Dr. Catherine Kipp, alongside a small group of researchers and staff, commanded a vessel to flee into SCP-900, aiming to reach the island. Acting Site Director Orson Lewis orders an immediate evacuation. All counter with Site 78 is lost. Foundation Research and Rescue Forces arrive at Site 78 location. The site is not present. After 48 hours of searching, all personnel stationed within Site 78 are considered lost. Afterward, after incident S78-3-1 has refused to speak to Foundation personnel. Out of caution, Site 121 has been constructed as a replacement site approximately 5 kilometers further away from from SCP-900. So I was right. It sunk. It went onto the ground. They were just not far enough forward. After arriving at SCP, so this is addendum 6. Is this the last addendum? Yes. After arriving at SCP-900, Foundation Search and Rescue Forces determined that the anomalous effect of Site 100 what's wrong with me? of SCP-900 had significantly lessened, allowing for the usage of video and audio recording equipment. During this brief window, a video of approximately 50 seconds was recorded on the island within SCP-900. The equipment used to record this video was failing, with a broken microphone and severe corruption at certain points, but the following transcript details could be salvaged. The camera swings held in the center of what appears to be the large plaza. A large number of people dressed in simple clothes are gathered, appearing to go about their daily business. No individual takes notice of the camera. A woman with wet hair, later identified as senior researcher Catherine Kipp, walks through the center of this plaza, passing directly next to the camera. Her face expresses confusion. There's a bright light. 3 seconds of corruption. A mountain rises above stone houses and buildings, with a brick staircase leading up it. Dr. Kipp, as well as 8 other individuals identified as being lost in incident S78-3, all climb the hill. The camera points towards the sky. There's a bright light. 7 seconds of corruption. There's a temple similar to Temple S1 visible within SCP-900. 11 individuals dressed in ornate garment form an organized line. There is notable gap the size of the person within this line. These individuals stop and stare at the camera. They all turn towards the sky. There's a bright light. 10 seconds of corruption. There's a bright light. For approximately 1 frame, a figure is visible within this light. Corruption. That is kind of freaky. You know what this reminds me of, this part? Mental catalog. The idea, like, especially like the beginning with like when Jesus comes down and then like deforms. That's what it reminds me of. Afterward, no explanation to this footage has been discovered. No corrupted signals have formed a comprehensible message after incident S78-3. Well then, okay, that's honestly, it was rated really low, but I gotta say, it's like Atlantis, except it's not a lost city with a lost civilization. It's a lost city that has just one person on it, who's a priest, and honestly, you don't really want to be in that city, because either you drown if you're near that city and you want to build something, you burn from the inside out, or you get raptured from the looks of it. So yeah, fascinating. Definitely not a place you want to have your vacation in. The building on the square. Okay, now it could be a literal meaning, like there's an actual square and there's a building on top of it, or a square as in like Times Square, like it's just an area what usually people are supposed to be able to walk through it, but for some reason there's a building always like any space is like a square space that usually is like open. Suddenly this building appears on those things and just blocks the path. Those are my two predictions. Okay. Another Euclid. The location and nature of SB901 poses difficulties for containment. All doors, windows, and any other features which may appear to an observer to be possible entrances to SCP-901 are to be sealed. SCP-901 is to be surrounded by a 4.5 meter chain link fence topped with razor wire and wooden construction hoardings on the outer perimeter of the fence to give the appearance of a defunct facility. The 2 Foundation agents in local blank police uniform are to be positioned at the entrance to SCP-901 at all times, with more agents in plain clothes discreetly patrolling the perimeter of SCP-901. Under no circumstances should personnel enter SCP-901 except during controlled testing conditions. The description: SCP-901 is a 4-story building. Four-story building constructed in the neoclassical style, situated at 10 blank square blank coordinates redacted. It is L-shaped and takes up a footprint of approximately 850 meters squared. Information on Information on SCP-901's history has been difficult to obtain. Questioning of the local population suggests that it has existed since 1947. At the earliest, but no records of its builders or subsequent usage have been found. It is not possible to enter SCP-901 through any method other than through the main entrance, which consists of a large mahogany double door of dimensions 5.2 times 4.5 meters. From here on, designated as -1. -1 opens onto a large main hall, which appears to be empty when viewed from the outside. The windows, although covered with a thick coating of dirt, also show all the rooms of SCP-901 are empty. However, observers have on rare occasions reported movement, shadowy figures, and in one case they look expunged through the windows. So far, none of these phenomena have been captured by recording devices. So basically a haunted house. So the building on the square is kind of like the haunted house on the hill. When an individual When an individual enters SCP-901, -1 will close and be unable to be opened from the outside by currently tested means for a period of time ranging from 30 minutes to several months. Approximately 60% of those who enter SCP-901 will not emerge and are considered for the purpose of the Foundation status and record keeping to be neutralized. Aha, so... yeah. You just don't want to go in there because you can't go. They check in, but they never check out. The Roach Motel. They check in, but never check out. That is one of my favorite jokes from like a German comedian he's talking about how like he went to America and he found like the biggest cockroaches ever, and he said how he tried to like spray them with like insect repellent, but they didn't die from it. They just he acted as if they fucking sniffed it up like cocaine because they're like, oh yeah, this is good stuff. So he bought a Roach Motel and he's like saying like how hardcore like the text was underneath, like Roach Motel, the check in but never check out, because in Germany I don't think Germans have to deal with cockroaches too often. I mean, they're still there, but I don't have to deal with them too often. And I'm pretty sure that whatever Roach Motel they have, it doesn't have that hardcore of a line. That's why he was like so impressed. Also, this was like 20 years ago when this comedian did that joke. So by now, probably more hardcore and titled Roach Motels exists. Approximately 60% of those who enter SB 901 will not emerge and are considered for the period. In these cases, Dash 1 will simply be able to be opened once more without any visible changes. Regular testing of Dash 1 is therefore necessary to determine when its time of locking has passed. When Dash 1 is sealed, electronic recording or transmission devices within SB 901 malfunctions. The remainder of the individuals who entered SB 901 eventually exit the structure. Again, through Dash 1, and the main effects of SB 901 have been determined through verbal reports for these subjects. When a subject enters SB 901, it takes on the appearance of a fully staffed institution rather than an empty building. The nature of the institution varies between subjects, but is usually a security or a law enforcement facility with the features of apparent authority of particular anathema to the subject, although subjects are unable to or unwilling to describe definite identifying marks. And I should get these ready, because I can see there's a number here. Notable resemblance including the SS Geheime Staatspolizei. So, secret city police. The Soviet Committee for State Security, the police force of the subject home nation, or data expunged. In one notable case, D1955, formerly Foundation researcher Dr. Blank, who has been demoted to D-class due to breaches of protocol involving assignment to 231. 231 is not the succubus, is it? Special personnel requirements, yes. Yes. Okay, so that I can see why they like decided to be like, hey, listen, bruh, you fucking around too much. You're trying to fuck around and find out, but we don't do that here. We know for a fact that if you mess with this, we're dead. So since you want to mess with this, you're gonna be a D-class now. What? Yeah. Yeah. Sucks to be you, eh? Entered. Okay, so. Entered SB901 and did it redacted by order of 05-blank. The internal architecture of SB901 seems to be unchanged. It is unknown whether the effects of SB901 manifest in reality or are the product of hallucinations caused by psychological effects of the SCP. Upon entering SB901, the subject is confronted by one or more personnel in the employ of said authority who proceed to restrain the subject and escort them to another sector of SB 901, where the subject will be interrogated by a figure of relatively high rank in the organization, designated -2. Okay. So this must be like somebody from the 40% that survived this is like, be like, dude, shit's fucked up in there. Unlike the other figure populating SB 901, -2 appears to be consistent feature during all subjects' experiences of SB 901. Although -2 ethnicity, facial features, and clothing vary to fit the characters of the organization occupying SB901, subjects have consistently described -2 as a man of 1.6 to 1.95 meters in height, of average build and with a calm or level voice. To the psychological effects of SB901, more in-depth subject have observation on -2 are considered unreliable. -2 will interrogate the subject on a particular act or acts by the subject against the laws of SB901's occupying authority. This does not appear to correspond to any action the subject has performed, and indeed may be physically impossible for the subject in question. The personnel occupying SB901 will then attempt to extract a confession from the subject. The nature of this process is highly variable between subjects, but may be physical or psychological and will match the nature of the organization occupying SB901 to some extent. Due to the invariable effects of these procedures on the subject, these have been difficult to acquire and are considered to be dubious quality, but indicated examples include physical assault, use of specialized devices designed to cause physical stress, sensory deprivation, sexual assault, threats against associates of the subject, use of data expunged. That's definitely not a very comfortable area to be in. The subject will then emerge from SB901 after a period of time consistent with observation. Of particular note are SB901 similarities to other law enforcement based SCPs such as SB1002 and SB2701. Okay, so there's some more. Stop! So I guess it's just a police guy who's like, you can't enter this place, you can't just come in here. In all cases, the subject who survived the effects of SB901 will suffer severe post-traumatic stress disorder, yeah, of course. Subject will also experience hallucinations and paranoid delusions, especially related to being under constant threat or observation by the organization encountered with SB901. Subject often develop a condition similar to Stockholm Syndrome, manifesting in a reluctance to criticize the organization in question and justification of its actions. The psychological effects of SB901 appear to be poorly treated by time or medical therapy, and in some cases may increase to such point that data expunged. Addendum 1. In the light of Incident 1, personnel are forbidden from damaging or otherwise interfering with SB901 in any way except under controlled testing conditions. Incident 1 synopsis. Dr. Blank suggests that physical bracing, suggested physical bracing -1 to prevent it from closing whilst an individual entered the structure, allowing observation of said individual's behavior. It was approved and appropriate personnel and apparatus were assembled. As agents Blank and Blank began to install the apparatus, they abruptly halted after 3 minutes, and judging from the dialogue, appeared to notice a large group of armed hostiles standing inside SB901. Agent Blank protested that they had been ordered by the local district data expunged to carry out repairs on SB901, which he referred to as data expunged. It should be noted that no local data expunged had ever existed and had not been deemed necessary to prepare a cover story for their operation. Agent Blank appeared to argue with a group of hostiles who remained inaudible and invisible to observers until both agents became visibly distressed and subsequently began to disassemble the bracing apparatus. Agent Blank was sent to retrieve his colleagues with force if necessary, but upon approaching -1 dropped his sidearm and raised his hand in the air. Further personnel sent to interfere in the situation met with similar effects. Once all equipment had been cleared from -1, all agents experiencing abnormal psychological effects entered SCP-901 and -1 closed as normal. -1 was sealed for a normal period of 23 days and none of the subjects re-emerged. Dr. Addendum 2. So, yeah, they don't like it when you like, listen, we open and close that door when we want to. You ain't gonna lock that shit. Looks like the punishment was a bit more severe, cause they ain't leaving. Addendum 2. The Dr. Majors communique to higher command 05 eyes only. Well, we ain't 05, but we're reading this. SCP-901 holds a great deal of potential to the Foundation as a means of controlling unruly humanoid SCPs, D-class personnel or others. However, I suspect there may be some bias in our testing procedure since they're all D-classes and we naturally accept the ideal D-class to be submissive. Perhaps the high rates of death and trauma are due to this. It would therefore be of interest to see the effect of this SCP on individuals' condition to resist physical and psychological stress. As Foundation agents and other personnel fit this category well, I propose we recruit volunteers from the ranks of these personnel or draft them if necessary to test SB 901. Dr. Major. It's kind of a bit fucked, isn't it? He's like, hey, yeah, listen. We need some people who can take a beating, physical and mentally, physically and mentally can take a bit of stress, you know, bit of stress, tiny bit. So how about it? Let's forget about the D classes. Get some other people in there who would definitely take this shit on. It's like, okay, I see how it is. You're a dick. The final countdown. It's the final countdown by why is that not coming to my mind? Europe. Yeah. I was about to say Europe Misnik. I forgot what I was about to say. But yeah, Europe. It's the final countdown. It must be keto though. Like you can't have something be called the final countdown and make it safe. Yeah, see there it is, keto. Ooh, it's a big one. 1,580. That's the biggest rating in those. All these two were below the 100, and this one decided to jump. It is like, yeah, no, we're not below the 100. We're not above 100. We're above the first 1,000. And it's also pretty short. SCP-902 has been relegated to Arctic Base Theta 12, the only SCP to be contained at this site. The site is to be staffed by a team of 50 security personnel. At this time, no research is to be done on SCP-902. Knowledge of SCP-902 beyond its number is to be limited to level 3 staff and lower. It is imperative that only a limited number of senior staff know of the existence of SCP-902. Only 1 of 5 is allowed to know about SCP-902 at any time. In the event of a security breach from the inside Arctic Base Theta 12, the on-site hydrogen bomb is to be detonated remotely. SCP-902 must be guarded at all times against premature destruction. Okay, description. SCP-902 is a box roughly the size of an adult human head. Okay. That seems bigger in that picture, but sure. It measures 30 centimeters times 15 centimeters times 19 centimeters. It appears to be an ammunition box of a type used roughly 30 years ago. Despite this item having been in Foundation custody for roughly 60 years, SCP-902 is made of lead. The composition of the item inside SCP-902 is unknown. SCP-902 emits what has been described as a ticking sound, and anyone who hears the sound becomes convinced that the item is counting down. When opened, the box appears empty, however the ticking remains. The object continues counting down. Anyone who becomes aware of SCP-902, whether through personal interaction or by reading this report, becomes convinced that whatever is in the box is horribly dangerous. It needs to be destroyed as soon as it finishes counting down, and not before. Staff exposed to SCP-902 will typically continue to attempt to open and then close the box, trying to find the object inside. There is no object. There is no object. There is an object. It has to be destroyed when the countdown stops. We are doing great work. We have to be stopped. Oh, that's cool. Because as you said, like by the time you finish reading this or you just know about it, you're aware that this thing is dangerous. So even the guy who wrote this is now like we're doing good. We should stop. That's pretty dope. I like that. I always like SCPs that like influence the file itself in a way, you know. I always like SCPs like that. It's really, really simple. It's like the same with like the one with like where all the text got like fucked up because it was like a comedy one, right? I like that kind of stuff. Yeah, I like those SCPs. They're really nice. Bit of fresh, a change of fresh air, you know. They really impressed me. Wait, hold on. Need to check something. Yeah. Okay, the tunnel of infinite possibility. This is my escape. Well, that's endless possibility. So, would you guys say endless and infinite is the same thing? Because endless means there's no end to it, and infinite means there's so many you can't count them. Like, it doesn't matter how, like, if you try to count them, it's impossible because it's just too much, right? So it's not yeah. So is it the same word? Will you give it the same meaning if you said tunnel of endless possibility or tunnel of infinite possibility? I guess the synonyms, aren't they? I didn't ask. I didn't guess. Well, yeah. Euclid. Back to Euclid. Hey, that's a cool picture. Let me look at that a bit more closer if I can. That's a really dope looking picture. Is that a person in the middle? It looks like there's somebody there, but that might just be me thinking that there is. Access to either side of SB 903 is to be restricted to authorized research personnel only. The entrance must be sealed and kept under surveillance at all times. During testing, under no circumstances are personnel to enter SB 903 or attempt to cross it. Any persons attempting unauthorized entry will be subject to lethal force. Lethal. Any test subject or item that has passed through or emerges from SB 903 must be immediately destroyed once testing is concluded. Description. So here we see SB 903 seen from Station A. Okay. Yes, I went zoom. Okay, SB 903 is an incomplete Site 19 utility tunnel that connects to the SB containment wing with the Lambda laboratory wing. The tunnel is 3 meters in diameter, 50 meters long, and buried approximately 5 meters underground. Because of its incomplete nature, SB 903 is an empty concrete tunnel that contains no piping, wiring, or other utility equipment. SB 903 also contains an old rail system that consists of a single monorail that spans the entire length of SB 903. SB 903 was originally used as a discreet and secure method of transporting SPs from the containment wing directly to the Lambda laboratory wing. However, this practice was discontinued shortly after Incident 903-1, where the presiding personnel violated standard operating procedure and transported several SCPs at once, rather than one at a time. Why wait? I can carry all the bags from the car to the house. Why go back and forth? I can just carry all of them. The resulting incident is most likely what caused SB 903 to obtain its current anomalous properties. Well, I gotta play this. Nice. Good job. You fucked us. At first glance, SB 903's most obvious feature is the fact that the entire tunnel is completely visible. Despite the lack of any internal lighting. Let me see something actually with the can I see something over here? Nice. Okay. Just want to double check. Okay. The entire tunnel is completely visible despite the lack of any internal lighting. The lighting appears to be emanating from the white line of paint spiraling around the tunnel walls. It is unclear how this phenomenon works. The monorail system still functions as normal. However, if an item or organization is placed inside the monorail car and sent through SB 903, the monorail will suddenly and inexplicably stop in the middle of the tunnel. The anomalous illumination will then deactivate, reducing visibility inside SB 903 to 0. Attempts to use external lighting or image enhancement technology such as infrared or night vision equipment have proven ineffective in observing SB 903 during this state. After approximately 15 seconds, the anomalous illumination in the monorail car will reactivate and the car will continue on its path like normal. However, there is a Henry! There is a however in this. The item or the item or organism that was previously placed inside the car will be missing with no trace. Ah. Ah. Shit. After an indeterminate amount of time, SB903 will activate the monorail card on its own. Once the card reaches the center of SB903, the illumination will shut down for 15 seconds, similar to a deliberate activation. When SB903 reactivates, the monorail card will contain a new item, designated -X, and in most cases an elaborately handwritten note. Here you go. I fixed it. I improved it. The instances of -X SB903 generates are all universally anomalous in nature, and each instance possesses different anomalous properties. However, each instance properties seem to consistently match properties of SCPs that had previously been transported through SB903 prior to incident -1. Footnote. For a full listing of SCPs transported through SB903, please send an official request to the current site administrator. I think there's a list right here, so we're good. Once the instances of -X are removed from SB903, they will deteriorate and lose their anomalous properties after approximately 2 hours, assuming they weren't already destroyed beforehand. The handwritten notes included with the handwritten notes included with the instances of -X suggest that SB903 is somehow connected with a sapient entity capable of manufacturing instances of -X. Attempts to trace the source of the notes based on composition of the ink and paper, as well as handwritten analysis, have so far failed to produce any result. However, the handwritten notes are not anomalous and do not deteriorate like instances of -X. Now we have the list here, which is not very long. So what? Wait, actually, what is little notable -X? Yeah, okay, here we go. -1, a pineapple that autonomously launches itself, and any individual that makes a subjective bad joke. Hey, that's like the tomato. Hey, accompanying note. I thought the tomatoes were such a hoot, so I thought I'd give it a try with a different fruit. Okay, so this guy, whoever made this thing, decided that, hey, listen, I'm the one who made the tomatoes, so I will. But I wonder if he is the same. Like, if all these ones are made by the same person. Okay, let's see. -5. A shard of obsidian carved into a humanoid shape. Whenever an individual cuts himself on its edge, -5 morphs into a perfect image of the individual. That's like the knife. Accompanying note: for the price of a little pain, you will have a little body to keep you sane. That's like the obsidian knife that if you cut a bit skin off and all that stuff, I think you become them, right? That's what it was. 12, a bronze key that weighs 90 tons. Because you can open any door if you have the strength to get it off the floor. Also, I just now realize he's rhyming all the time. -20, a pack of blue lady brand cigarettes with a picture of a blue haired female with one eye. Anybody who smokes one of these cigarettes is temporarily afflicted with a condition where they are convinced a one-eyed woman is staring at them. Take a puff if you dare, if you can withstand her unbreakable stare. All other instances of -X omitted. For a full list, please file a request to Dr. Ryan. This is fun. And these are all SCPs that we know. Or at least I know, but I'm glad they used a bunch of SCPs that are either A, famous, or B, were in the line beforehand. Okay. Addendum: after 4 years of containment and testing, as well as cataloging all instances of -X produced, SB903 reactivates and produces only a single handwritten note. Even the greatest minds can lose their inspiration. Can you please help an artist in desperation? Aw. He's having a block. He's like, oh, I don't know what to do anymore. That's a fun idea. That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Do I like that more than Final Countdown? It's really much like in this. Very close. They're both fun. They're both really fun ideas. They're both really fun ideas, dude. I'm sorry I'm checking my phone all the time because I have friends. Alright, a short poem. Okay, so in literal sense, it might just be a short poem, but what's the anomalous effect? I would say that in the moment you read it, you suddenly end up in either A, in a sudden overwhelming depression, or B, you fall in love with whoever you think wrote that poem, but it's like unreasonable amount of falling. It's like almost like it's like horrible. It's like stalking level falling in love. Okay, here we go. There's a lot of Euclids. There's a lot of Euclids in this one. SB 904 should be inscribed on an ordinary sheet of tapping paper when not in active observation or study. This paper should be secured in a secure, locked, non-combination vault and stored out of range of any recording devices. SB 904 should only be handheld. It already is handheld. It's a piece of paper you can easily hand. Or directly viewed by Class D personnel without backgrounds in literature, writing, or art. Okay, any personnel viewing SB 904 experiencing hallucinations or suicidal thoughts should be removed immediately from this situation. It's the Soul Eater, Krona. It's Krona's poem where when you read it, you end up in a depression. SB 904 was discovered scratched on a bathroom wall in the literature department of Blank University after reports of unusual behavior and difficulty speaking in approximately 300 students and staff. Mobile Task Force ETA 10, See No Evil, was sent to contain it after its viral nature was realized, and although all 3 Class D personnel involved in its transport were infected by visual contact, it was transported to Site Blank without incident. SB 904 presents a slight memetic hazard to all who read it, but it is only harmful to those with a specific creative type mindset, so I'll be fucked. Well, it says specific. I'm just creative, so I'm not sure what specific it needs. An infected individual can infect other individuals. Oh great, it's like a zombie plague. Spread it. Symptoms include the tendency to use end rhymes uncontrollably in all speech. Reading SB 904 multiple times or being very close to it after reading it once will result in the development of a more refined poetic form, containing iambic pentameter, a more complicated poetic form, or more fitting rhymes. The infection is not permanent. Some individuals will remain affected for up to 24 hours, while others will shake off the infection within 10 minutes. Typically, infection caused from other individuals will be shorter in duration than infections from the source. Okay. Oh, shitty. However, some individuals, mostly those with backgrounds in poetry and the arts, are more adversely affected by the infection. So, that's not me. I'm good. I will be alive, guys. I will be fine. These individuals have more difficult time losing the infection. In rare cases, it will not subside, but will induce hallucinations regarding being trapped in cages, coffins, or otherwise. A state of extreme depression. And the feeling that they are unable to express their thoughts, or that their body is not theirs anymore, or that they are being possessed. Often the subject will choose to self-terminate. Researchers should use discretion when choosing who will view SB 904. Addendum 1. A Class D personnel was exposed to SB 904 and successfully infected. When asked to use a sentence ending in the word ninth, a word with no rhymes in English language, they look expunged. He found it! No! He found the word. What about orange? Is there a word that rhymes with orange? I felt like orange was always the impossible one. Ninth, really? I guess 10th doesn't count, even though nth is in there. And 19 doesn't count either. 29th doesn't count because it's the same word. So, yeah, okay. It should be noted that while infected individuals don't casually choose to use non-rhyming words, they are able to, and the consequences may be deadly. Oh, so he didn't find one. He couldn't find one, so he fucking... Find the it's like the Uno like special card. Rhyme rhyme with knife or die. And then just instead of like the guy with like the 25 Uno cards, it's just the guy dead on the ground. At the request of the cleaning crews assigned to clean up the blood, researchers are strongly discouraged from similar experiments. If this ever breaks containment, addendum 2 by the way, we're going to be facing a disaster, suicidal ports or not, Dr. Blank. Yeah. Because if you try to like, if you don't want to rhyme, you die. Damn, boy. Luckily, I'm glad I didn't go into poems. If I went into poems, I would have been dead. I would have been one of the people who have difficulties surviving this shit. I got a message. Okay. Mr. Chameleon. So it's a guy, the dude, who just pretty simple, just camouflage. Hey, we have a save finally, and it's pretty decently rated. And I just oh, okay, that's the name of the case. Gotcha. Oh my god. I need to shave, guys. I need to shave. The mustache is tickling my nose now, and I don't want to let this get too long. SCP-905 is to be contained in a 6 times 6 times 3 meters containment cell, painted matte black. Oh, can you not? Just let me be black, please! This cell is to be devoid of any mirrors or windows. 2 LED arrays are to be installed in cell housings, SCP-905. Every 4 hours, SCP-905 is to be fed for 20 minutes. As the current regulation on misters, SCP-905 is to be contained in hull blank or side blank. Oh, because there's like, yeah, there's probably a couple like mister. By the way, let me just lower it down a little bit, you know, just a little bit. SCP-905 is a sentient entity composed of photons. These photons form a humanoid shape that has been described as fuzzy but definite. It is roughly 1.75 meters tall, however its mass is immeasurable. SCP-905 has shown the ability to speak through the manipulation of air particles, but its mechanism to perform this is unknown. SCP-905 is capable of the same movement as a human male, of the same body structure, but due to its photonic nature is unable to manipulate solid objects aside from emitting weak electromagnetic radiation. Solids such as doors must be moved for SCP-905 before it can leave or enter a room. SCP-905 has the ability to pass through windows and other transparent objects. The photons SCP-905 is composed of follow the usual laws of probability in this case, and will reflect back from the transparent object at a rate of 5%, separating any reflected photon from SCP-905 influence. Oh, there we go. SCP-905 described this as painful but bearable. SCP-905 sheds its photons at a constant rate of approximately 0.001% of its body volume per second. Okay, these photons are emitted at a wavelength of 380, and I don't know what NM means, to 780 NM. I probably learned it once and I forgot, so, or within the human spectrum of visible light. SCP-905 shows the ability to change the wavelengths emitted to match its background. SCP-905's lack of a shadow can make detecting SCP-905 while hidden problematic. Okay. But then, wouldn't a pitch black room be even more? I guess not, because it's like photons are light emitting, right? So SCP-905 shows an inability to absorb color lights. Due to 905's constant loss of photons, SB905 must be fed regularly in order to maintain a healthy body volume. Conversely, feeding SB905 too large an amount of photons causes... What is happening? I'm so sorry, guys. I don't want to do this. It just happens. It just comes along. Because I'm not tired. I'm not exhausted. But for some reason with reading, my body just decides to like... causes SB905 to experience an oversaturation. SB905 finds this extremely painful and describes it in a similar manner to human burns. Placing a mirror near SB905 in an attempt to feed SB905 its own emissions result in SB905 expressing extreme discomfort. And when questioned, SB905 replied, "Would you enjoy eating your own expletive redacted?" I guess he said shit. SB905 was discovered at the Deluxe Bunch entrance of Side Blank. Addendum 1. The words Mr. Chameleon from Little Misters by Dr. It's Dr. Valentamen this time. God! Are printed upon SB905's left calf. SB905 shows an inability to change the wavelength emitted by this print. This designation appears as 1 in document 909A, which is, as we know, is an SB that we're going to get to today anyway, so... Man, that's okay. Okay. So, I was off with my description. But hey, at least it's a safe one. And, you know, he's just walking around. He just wants to live and exist happily, and not eat his own shit. Is that too much to ask? Gotcha. Okay, here we have scoring hive. Scoring. Oops. Scoring hive. Okay, okay. So, I have an insect that wherever they fly over, they just clean up. And I'm kind of like locusts, where they clean up like fields of like grass and all that. But instead of doing that, they legitimately just clean your kitchen, your working table. Yeah. Well, it's Euclid, so I highly doubt that's what it is. Subjects to be contained in a 3 by 3 meter squared, fully airtight, 12 centimeter thick titanium enclosure surrounded by acid-resistant glass. Ah, I think I now know why it's called scoring. Temperature, god damn. Temperature must be kept under 5 degrees Celsius. Should temperature exceed this limit, all personnel are to be evacuated to a distance of at least 100 meters. Immediate area containing enclosure will then be locked down until temperature has been lowered. Holding cell is to be maintained on a bi-weekly basis and checked for sufficient corrosion or gaps. Any damage to holding cell is to be repaired immediately. SV906 is to be monitored at all times from 4 digital cameras mounted on each corner of the enclosure. Any abnormal behavior reported from these cameras will result in immediate lockdown of the area around containment cell. Access to SB906 is permitted only to supervise Class D personnel for feeding and or enclosure maintenance. SB906 is to be fed 80 kilograms of raw meat every 42 hours. God damn, okay. SB, 80 kilos, that's 10 kilos more than I am. So they could easily eat me in 2 days. Okay, SB906 is a writhing mass of dark brown worm-like invertebrates. Near These organisms seem to interact in a uniform fashion, forming a colonial superorganism in a similar manner to army ants. For reasons currently unknown, SB906 will usually form its body into that of a very rough humanoid figure. SB906 is shown to be capable of crude bipedal movement when in this state. However, when traveling long distances, it will deviate to a flattened mass with a greater efficiency of movement. SB906 is capable of secreting a viscous, highly corrosive, semi-translucent fluid, similar in color to its skin. Disgusting. This substance is shown to have an acidic strength comparable to hydrofluoric acid, but it has less pronounced effect on titanium, no effect on acid-resistant glass, and did expunged. This substance displayed the ability to destroy teeth, bones, hair, nails, clothing, jewelry, and some kinds of equipment in under an hour. Hey! God damn, dude. God. Ew. It's crazy. This one, corrosive snail, should probably get together. They would be best buds. SB906 is predatory and highly aggressive. Yeah, that's it, they're best buds. When hungry, it will swarm over any living creature within its path and coat them in its acidic secretion, thereby breaking down the matter into a liquid slurry which it then consumes. Ugh. Attempts to remove or disturb SB906 during its feeding have proved fruitless. When a designated prey is nearby, SB906 will alter its form into that of flowing carpet and move across any surface in order to pursue its target until the prey is captured. Due to the small width of SB906 component organisms, 2 centimeters wide barrier will only slow its advance. Obstacles that cannot simply be passed will be destroyed by the acidic substance SB906 secretes. SB906 has also displayed the ability to take alternate routes to reach its prey, such as drainage pipes and ventilation shafts. The moment it says like it will look like a carpet, I imagine like the typical like cartoon thing where like they look away and they look back and like they think that they're not sure if that's actually like it gets if something like like for example a box always coming closer, but they never really like pay attention to that, like it must have always been that close. So I imagine the same thing with that, like it just moves, and then when you look there it just stops and you're like, what's that carpet always like right there? Look away, look back, it's even closer, and you're like, I could have sworn it was over there a second ago. Look away again, those worms. Just yeah, so that's what I'm seeing. Through methods currently unknown, SB906 appears capable of mimicking animal kinds like sounds and parroting human speech, is what is described as a raspy hoarse voice. Oh god. While in its humanoid form, SB906 appears to use this ability to lure prey into areas that are difficult to escape, such as deep pits or maze-like corridors networks. Eyewitnesses report from the containment breach 906-2-10-1A detail SB906 taunting prospective victims and even emitting a sound something like laughter before attacking its prey. So you would hear something like help me, I need help, and then when it eats you. That's fucked. This behavior suggests kind of rudimentary sentience, but it's unknown how a creature comprising several thousand individual organisms is able to achieve this. It's called a hive mind, bro. It's not that difficult. It's called a hive mind. SB906 specimens, when removed from the larger body, will attempt to move back towards the central mass and have been known to dissolve through any obstacles in their way. It should be noted that individual specimens do not show the same level of navigation skills as the full superorganism. I mean, that's right, because all of the brain cells are connected, but once you take some of them away, they only have a couple brain cells, and they're like, oh shit, and they just become dumb. Specimens of SCP-906 have the ability to reconstruct into multiple versions when damaged in a similar manner to common earthworms. In example, splitting one SCP-906 specimen resulted in each half growing into separate organisms. Which, that is so wild. That you cut an earthworm in half, and both sides decide like, now we two. Like if earthworms had actually a brain and evil intentions, like if animals had evil intentions and if earthworms had a brain, I feel like they would just cut themselves on purpose just to repopulate way faster and then kill all of us, just swarm us. Just a tsunami of earthworms, drowning us in dirt. Despite this, SCP-906 specimens have been destroyed via means of incineration, freezing, and full-body disintegration. Should the need to destroy SCP-906 ever arise, use of flamethrowers or liquid nitrogen is permitted. However, SCP-906 specimens will split themselves and multiply over the course of several hours should the larger mass be severely reduced. If SCP-906 is ever required to be terminated, all specimens must be eliminated to prevent SCP-906 reforming. In order to keep SCP-906 in a more controllable state, the enclosure is housed in is to be kept at a temperature below 5 degrees Celsius at all times, as this is shown to reduce the movement, reaction time, reduction abilities, and metabolism of SCP-906. Okay, good, yeah, that makes sense. But I also feel like this is one of the SB where you can just be like, fuck it, let's kill them. Let's just freeze them all, step on them, make sure they don't have any chance of thawing up and reproducing again. And then number 1, testing of SCP-906 resulted in a Class D being targeted before a cow. A second test was then conducted in this manner wherein a pig, sheep, dog, and horse were all placed alongside a Class D. SCP-906 once again targeted the Class D first. That sucks. I'm sorry, buddy. That's rough, buddy. Second targeted... I should get that as a sound. That's rough, buddy. Yes. Second targeted animal was the pig, followed by the sheep, the horse, and finally the dog. Addendum 2. Ow. During routine enclosure maintenance, SCP-906 reportedly spoke to a supervising staff member by saying his name several times. The reason it did this is unknown. The staff member one Dr. Anthony Richards, reports being very disturbed by the proceedings and has expressed a desire to be kept away from SCP-906 in the future. Fair enough. If a bunch of worms that form into a human start saying your name, I think over and over and over again, which could... All in my book just means they want to lure you in or get your attention because they want to eat ya. That's what I be like. I'll be honest with you. 05 or whoever is his boss. That's when I would be like, you know what? Yeah, you deserve to be gone from this. You should not be around here. Be free. Don't come near this thing ever again. Understandable. Have a nice day. Have you guys seen the newest One Piece episode? 1015. Whoa! I read the manga, so seeing that, I was just like so excited. I was so ready. And my god, Megumi, whatever you do, keep doing it. Every episode she gets to direct gets better and better and better and better. I don't know how she did it. I don't know how the fuck she did that. How she managed to do such a good job. Her first one was like when all the 7 warlords were disbanded from the Navy basically just decided the 7 warlord system is gone. Just no more. That was already like gorgeous looking. Like the characters, like the colors, the characters, everything looked gorgeous. And then of course she did the beginning of like when the Straw Hat and everybody was about to go to Onigashima, and that one was gorgeous. Oh my god, she just does such a good job. And then this one, honestly, half of it is almost like a Ghibli film for me. I was just like, why would you do this? You're setting the bar so fucking high. I can't, like, honestly, the moment Toei decided to, like, change the animation for Wano, best decision they ever made. They, like, yes, pacing wise, we're fucking slow as shit. But who cares if for certain moments, even like for small moments, the animation can go off. But of course, there's certain other moments where, like, they have to, like, reduce to, like, very basic stuff. But a lot of times that they go beyond, and I'm really happy they do. I'm really happy they're giving One Piece the love it deserves with, like, the action and the animation. Again, pacing, we can't really change that unless we ask Toei to, like, stop for, like, a year or two until, like, Oda is a bit further ahead. That's not gonna happen because, yeah, it's not gonna happen. An exploratory vehicle. Okay, so how about a vehicle that allows you to travel between dimensions in space? So you get to explore. It's indestructible, but you have no you have no control of where you end up with this thing. But it's very close to, like, the teleporting, the getaway car, isn't it? Safe, okay. SB907 is to be kept under standard surveillance within Garage 3 of Site 45, because the getaway car is, like, it teleports away from the location, and after, like, random times it reappears again. The person can appear first, and the person will be then flying in the same speed that they drove. So, yeah, I can. But I mean, that's teleport. That's basically vanishing from this existence, while still staying on the same reality. It's still in the same Earth, the same space, because, like, the people who use a vanishing car said that they felt like they've just been driving for a while, or a long time, depending on how many days. Yeah, I'm pretty sure some people also died of malnutrition and thirst and dehydration and all that stuff because they drove for, like, days and the car didn't allow them to, like, come back. Oh, actually, no, never mind. The car was gone for days, but for them it felt like an instant. Okay. SB907 is to be kept under constant surveillance with Garage 3 of Site 54. The keys to activate SB907 is to be kept in a sealed locker on the possession of the local security director and may only be requisitioned by level 3 personnel for purpose of testing SB907. SB907 is outfitted as a mobile research station and is to be kept fully stocked at all times. This stock includes all necessary research, computing and living equipment, a 10-day supply of rations plus a 5-day emergency supply, and a appropriately modified MK2 EVA suit, and a standard set of 10 remote AX-10 probes. The inventory of SB907 is to be refreshed after every testing mission. Blah, blah, blah. For the sake of caution, testing of SB907 is to be carried out by level 1 and 2 personnel only. As according to the official testing schedule, SB907 is to be according to the official schedule. SB907 is to be exited by the research during testing missions except in mass of absolute necessity. Description: SB907 is a 1960 blank Volkswagen van bearing no internal or external structural anomalies. The vehicle has received a new coat of paint shortly before recovery, but otherwise all modification to the vehicle has been carried out by the Foundation. Said modification includes the removal of all seats in the vehicle and the addition of testing and research equipment. Is it a mystery machine? Upon the starting of its engine, SB907 will disappear from local time space and undergo a state of transit. Yes! I was right! This state will persist for 5 to 10 minutes, after which the engine will stop of its own accord. Moving the key or attempting to turn off the engine manually has proven unsuccessful while transit is ongoing. When transit has been completed, SB907 will reappear on the surface of an extrasolar planet. Many planets appear to be located in other galaxies. I didn't do that. Making identification through position of known stellar known stellar or objects impossible. No trace of life have been found on any planet reaches via SB907. SB907 itself and all conditions within will not be affected by any outside conditions, so long as an object or person is completely within SB907. Even if there is an open door or window present, they will be unaffected by the outside environment. SB907 will return to Earth in the same location as its departure after 5 to 15 stops. The vehicle is seen to undergo a minor relativistic effect during transit, where a longer period of time will have transpired on Earth than it has in SB907. But this time period has yet to exceed a lag of 2 weeks. I was right. You travel between space and time, bruh. Addendum. While over 300 extrasolar planets have been catalogued through usage of SB907, several have been encountered on multiple occasions. These include, okay, so some planets they visited again. So this car basically has the ability of not really 5 or 8. The guy who like teleports all over every different dimensions and realities, because this still stays in the same reality, but just like that guy who occasionally teleports to the same reality, this car can occasionally teleport to the same planet. So that's the only similarity they have. Also that they just vanish, of course, and reappear somewhere else. And then a terrestrial planet approximately 1.5 times Earth's mass, orbiting an M-class star. No atmosphere or moons are present. The landscape is covered in a thick layer of graphite with surface formation of diamond due to seismic upheaval. Surface temperature averages minus 200 degrees Celsius. Ooh, that's cold. Here's the thing. You know what's interesting? Of course, I highly doubt this planet exists, but I highly doubt we know this planet exists, like that we have discovered this type of planet. But the cool thing is, there's a high chance a planet like this might exist somewhere out there in fucking space. B, terrestrial planet with an atmosphere of methane and carbon dioxide measuring approximately 90 AMP. Exterior temperature at ground level is in excess of 550 degrees Celsius. Trace compounds of unknown chemical composition give the lower atmosphere an iridescent quality. C, insufficient data believed to be a semi-liquid core of a standard hydrogen gas giant. D, terrestrial planet approximately 3 times Earth's mass, orbiting a K-class star. A trace atmosphere of carbon dioxide and nitrogen is present, as well as a single moon. While liquid water is present, the environment is self-sterilizing due to severe ultraviolet radiation from the planet's sun. E, icy moon orbiting a ringed helium giant. No atmosphere present. Irregular composition of the ice combined with abnormal warming and cooling patterns has caused a marble pattern on the surface. F, terrestrial planet approximately 17 times the mass of Earth. That's pretty big. Orbiting a B-class star. 6 small moons present. The atmosphere is made primarily of nitrogen and argon, and large quantities of arsenic and mercury are present in the soil. Winds of up to 270 kilometers per hour have been recorded. That's pretty fast winds, bro. It's pretty dope. I like that. I'm not much of a car person in life, but I feel like this is a cool idea to do with a car. You just go in there, you're gone, you're on a whole different planet. Get to explore around. Have fun. No, I like that. That's pretty nice. Pretty cool. Second last one. Collocated rock. Collocated. I'm not sure if I ever heard that word before. Share a location or facility with something else. To locate 2 or more things together or to be located together, such as a transit. Interesting. So this rock is in 2 places at the same time. I mean, on most. Excuse me again. On most rocks between, like a lot of rocks in the world can be between two places. Like if you're on the border of a country and there's a rock right on the border, like, but it's like big, so it's like on both sides of the country. Isn't that is that a collocated rock? I assume though the other thing it's connected to is not our Earth. That's why it's collocated. Or that's why it's an SCP, because at the end I feel like if it's a rock that's on the borderline, then what the hell, bro? Save, okay, another save. The vicinity of each location of SB-908 is to be patrolled by a marine vessel crewed and equipped in accordance with the specification in document 908-908.23121.AE4C. Audio and video monitoring equipment are to be placed on the islet and repaired or replaced as necessary. SB-908 is a partially submerged rocky islet. The exposed rock above the waterline measures approximately 30 meters in length and 25 meters in width, and rises to a height of approximately 22 meters above the waterline. That's 22 meters? That looks way bigger. Maybe the picture is, and the description is just decided like, oh, let's just call it 22 meters. But that looks like, I don't know, like 60 meters. Like, I feel like a human would be like, it's just like this size, like, right? Like, yeah, like a little tiny like that, but maybe not. The vertical rock face contains carved inscription in the old G's GG Easy? No. G's the script, which are too erroneous to be read clearly but appear to indicate that the rock was visited by Ethiopians in the 4th or 5th century BC. Near the waterline there also be carved glyphs that resemble the oracle bone script used in Shang Dynasty China, but the rendering of the carving indicates that they were added relatively recently, probably within the past 2 centuries. The only macroorganisms inhabiting the islet are various lichens and small mollusks, although portions of the islet are also covered with seabird guano. So here we have SB-908 during a period of unusual atmospheric clarity. So, okay, unusual atmospheric clarity, so it probably means you normally don't actually get to see the whole thing. The islet is a geographic anomaly. It is located in several different places at once. Ah, okay. But how do you know? Like, I guess, I was about to say, like, what if it's just coincidence that, like, several areas have, like, a similar looking island? But if you go on the island and then you see the same carvings in it, same location of the carvings and all that stuff, then you'd be like, yeah, okay, there's no way that 2 different like 3 different languages being written on it, or 3 different, yeah, that's all and every single one of them had the same languages. Yeah, that would be weird in real life. Like, imagine you find this island and you see it has Spanish, Russian, and Japanese written on it, and then you find a similar looking island somewhere else, and it has those 3 languages, same locations, same sentences, and then you find another island that's like that, all the same. Yeah, I would be like, okay, either there's one person that speaks all these languages and knows about every single island like that looks the same and decided to like fuck around with people, or there were 3 people that decided to fuck around with people, or yeah, there's something off. There's something weird happening. It is located in several different places at once. The island collocation properties extend to objects in physical contact or close physical proximity to the islet. Investigations have shown that at present the islet is currently located at the following terrestrial locations: 46.49 south, blank south, 51.63 blank east, southwestern Indian Ocean, 12.1 blank north, 37.18 blank east, Lake Tana, Ethiopia, 59.54 blank north, 68.40 blank west, Ngawa Bay, northern Quebec, 48.21 blank north, 144.97 blank east, Sea of Okhotsk near Sakhalin Island, 60.98 blank north, 20.17 blank east, Gulf of Bothnia, approximately 30 kilometers west of mainland Finland, 47.3 blank north, 90.51 blank west, Lake Superior approximately 100 kilometers northeast of Duluth, Minnesota. The island also appears to be located at least one at least one non-terrestrial location. See test log. It's itchy. My chin's itchy. Okay. Atmospheric and water temperatures and the salinity of the surrounding water remain relatively constant regardless of the time of day or year that the island is visited or the point of origin from which it is approached. The island is also typically surrounded by a mist or fog, which even under the best lighting conditions limits visibility to no more than 40 to 50 meters. Lighting conditions vary at unpredictable intervals from a condition comparable to a foggy, overcast day to total darkness. And here we have a test log. Okay, Dr. Patel. Okay, most of them are done by Dr. Patel. It looks like it. Test number 1, or reference 1. Island approached by a boat from Ethiopian mainland. Distinctive medallion, 0.8 kilograms in mass, placed on the island. Island approached by a helicopter from Quebec. Medallion was in the same position relative to island topography on Quebec Island as on Ethiopian island. So, if a person is there, does that work as well for them? Like, I guess not. I guess it's just objects, right? Hey, that would be pretty useful if you want to like transport certain objects to another location easier. You know, you basically have an island that's a 6-way portal for these objects. Reference 2. Island approached by boat from Quebec. Shortwave radio transmitter placed on island and activated, broadcasting coded homing signal. Triangulation of homing signals resulted in identification of the 6 locations of the island described in description narrative. Reference 3. Island concurrently approached by boats from Ethiopia and Wisconsin. When both boats were within 60 meters of the Ethiopia and Lake Superior locations of the island, the boats' crews were able to visually identify each other. So, okay, so you can't actually... So yeah, you could, I guess you could take, but here's the thing now. If they did that, and then someone who was on the boat from Ethiopia jumps on the boat from Wisconsin, and then they drive out, would they end up in Ethiopia or in Wisconsin? Does it depend where the boat came from, or does it depend where the person came from? Because you can also swim to those locations. Why? Right? So I'm just wondering how does it work if they switched person, or if they switched where they came in from. 4. Island concurrently approached by boats from Ethiopia with Agent Blank aboard, and Wisconsin boats met and Agent Blank boarded. Hey, here we go. Boarded the boat that had originated in Wisconsin. Boats returned to the respective ports of origin. Agent Blank experienced no anomalous effect other than the rapid transit between the points. Okay, so he ended up going to Wisconsin. So that answers my question. Glad that they actually, for once, we both were on the same page, the Foundation 9. It wasn't like I followed something and the Foundation didn't think of that at all until much later, and you go like, yeah, of course, you dumbass. Well, it's cold here. 5. No wait, I already read that. No, I didn't. Did I? I did not. Island concurrently approached by boats from Kamchatka with Agent Blank aboard, carrying a GPS device. In Quebec, boats met and Agent Blank boarded the boat that originated in Quebec. At this point, Agent Blank's GPS device indicated a location near the island sea of Okhotsk location. Boats returned to their respective ports of origin. Upon leaving the island's area of effect, the GPS device carried by Agent Blank on the boat for Quebec ceased functioning for several minutes, following which it indicated a location near Quebec. Okay. 6. Island concurrently approached by boats from Ethiopia and Wisconsin, with each boat unspooling a telecommunication cable anchored at the boat's port of origin. Boats met within 20 meters of island and telecommunication cable joined. Cables functioned as normal, except for the much shorter than normal transmission time for wire communication between those points. Hey, this is very useful so far. I would say use this, guys. Use this. Use this for like easy transportation and easy communication. Islet approached by boat from Kamchatka Peninsula. Audio and video recording equipment installed at islet to monitor islet conditions for 33 consecutive days. No remarkable activity except for occasional visits by birds of diverse origins. 8. Islet approached by boat from Quebec, South Africa and Ethiopia. Dye released in surrounding water and colored smoke released into atmosphere. Observation of dye and smoke indicates that the collocation phenomenon appears to be limited to an irregularly shaped volume approximately 80 meters in radius, roughly centered on the rock. 9. Oh yeah, by the way, some of them, 7 and 8 were Dr. Galshian, not Dr. Patel. And she will do 10, 13, 14 next, okay. Islet approached by boat from South Africa. Audio and video recording equipment installed at islet on day 29 after installation of equipment. Unknown individual, presumably human, remove equipment. Agent Blank approached islet by helicopter from South Africa to investigate and finds. And in place of the equipment, the individual have left baskets containing fruits, jade trinkets, and a handwritten note containing undecipherable lettering resembling letters in the Armenian alphabet, but not corresponding to any known words. Interesting. So it's not only between physical spaces, but it seems to be a collocated between something else, maybe like the past, maybe. Who knows? 10. Islet approached by boat from South Africa. Rock samples drilled from islet. Upon analysis, granite found to be unremarkable. Hole left by sample drilling. It's apparent that all subsequent visits to the islet, regardless of the location from which it is visited. Yes. So the hole is now there with each and every one of them. 11. Approached by boat from Wisconsin. Personnel D2341 left at islet with audio and video recording and broadcast equipment and 6 months provision. 6 months, that's a lot of provision. 31 days after experiment commences, signal from island is cut and AV broadcast equipment is damaged. Agent Blank approaches island by boat from Wisconsin to investigate, recovers damaged equipment, and reports that personnel D2341 is missing. Scraps of 2341 is uniform remain with residue of D2341 blood and blood-like substance not corresponding to any known organism. Aye. They didn't like that. Whoever lives on the island. Islet approached by, or islet, yeah, it's on an island. Approached by boat from Wisconsin. Boat remains on site for 118 days. No remarkable activity except that on day 91, a canoe-like vessel approximately 4 meters in length and crewed by 3 or 4 individuals, presumably human, with East Asian facial features and facial features and clad in animal skins, briefly approached the boat, shouted something unintelligible, and hurriedly paddled away. Yeah, I feel like it's like collocated between the present and the past as well. It just feels like it. 13 Asians, blank and blank, approach island by boat from Wisconsin. On day 46, boat is struck by torpedo which fails to detonate. Torpedo resembles Kriegsmarine design but incorporates modern guidance and drive system 1. Yeah, so it looks like it's connected to different times as well. The connection between the torpedo and SB1142 has been theorized due to similar designs between them two. Asian Blank and Blank approached island by boat from Wisconsin. On day 77, boat is attacked and destroyed by a large aquatic creature of unknown origin. Okay, that is something completely else. That, yeah, I mean, again, that could be a beast from the far, far, far back. So, yes, it's collocated not only in different. Okay, you know what? Remember when I said this would be a good place to have easy transport and easy communication? If there's a chance that you accidentally walk into a megalodon near that island, then yeah, no, maybe don't use that thing. it might just be a bit troublesome. And the last SCP to read for today is Mr. Forgetful. Now, which SCP did it say that was a chameleon that had something to do with yes. So Mr. Forgetful has to do with something with Dr. One Entertainment as well, maybe. I feel like it's must be something like that's like super short term memory. Like the moment you tell him something, he already forgot it. Okay, yeah. These are all the things that Dr. One Entertainment worked on. Okay. Euclid, 321 in rating. That's pretty good. SB909 is to be contained in a standard humanoid containment cell. No writing materials are to be allowed inside the cell. A short summary of SB909's current situation is to be pasted on the wall beside the bed. Extras are to be provided if the previous summary is removed by SB909. SB909 is to be fed 3 times daily with any peanut-free meal. If SB909 is seen attempting to write or draw, he is to be incapacitated through non-lethal means. Kind of the opposite of where are you? Where is he? Habagraphia, yeah, kind of the opposite of Habagraphia, because Habagraphia was all about you had to give him paper so you can draw or write anything, and this one not allowed. Current experimentation with SB909 effects has been discontinued due to risk of containment breach. Research may be conducted if the current site director approval is given. And of current regulation on Misters, SB909 is to be contained in hull blank or side blank. Probably the same as Mr. Chameleon, eh? SB909 appears to be a young adult Caucasian male suffering from permanent anterograde amnesia. SB909 seems to be aware of this condition but cannot recall experiences past this, aside from memories gained due to SB909's effect. SB909's anomalous effect becomes apparent when it writes down any of the experiences is still in its working memory. When described through writing, experiences immediately enter SB909's long-term memory. However, the experience disappears from the memory of all other persons involved. I see. So he gets to remember it, but everybody else gets to forget it. Yeah, okay, yeah. Wow. SB909 is allergic to peanuts and will go into an anaphylactic shock following the ingestion of any peanut products. SB909 was discovered at entrance expunged of side blank. Addendum 1. The words Mr. Forgetful from Little Misters by Dr. One Entertainment are tattooed upon SB909's right calf. What was Mr. Chameleon also up on the right calf, or was it the left calf? Yeah, left calf. Okay. So this one got one here and the other one got one here. Upon discovery, SB909 has been wearing a 3-piece suit with the brand name Doctor's Orders sewn into the tag. Foundation personnel have yet to find clothing company operating under this name. And then 2. Further examination of SB909's clothing revealed a list of other possible instances of anomalous humanoid similars to SB909. See document A inside the left pants pocket. So that's how they found all these. Mr. Fish. Is Mr. Fish? Yeah, Mr. Fish. Mr. Hot. They're all misters. And some misses. One misses. Miss Sweetie. Addendum 3. Interview log. Interviewed SB909, Dr. Blank. SB909 was put into an initial observation for 7 hours, during which the subjects in anterograde amnesia in relation to SB905 were discovered. SB909 was then taken for an interview. Good morning, 909. 909? Why are you calling me that? And where am I anyways? Reading from a sheet of paper, You are the SCP-909, and you are currently under my custody. I am a doctor of the Foundation, and I'm going to research your anomalous effects. The Foundation? What's that? Why the... At this point, Dr. Blank presses a small button, generating a loud noise lasting 5 seconds. SB-909 seems to lose focus. Hello, 909. 909, why are you calling me that? And where am I anyways? Reading from a sheet of paper. You are the designated you are the SB designated 909, and you are currently under my custody. I'm doctor of the Foundation. I'm going to research your anomalous effects. The Foundation, what? Okay, let's try something else. Write down what I just told you. Alright. SB-909 accepts the pen and stationery and proceeds to write. Later investigation of Dr. Blank notes show that he had planned to press the button previously mentioned at this point. Brief pause. Hey, who are you? I'm the SCP under your custody, don't you remember? Huh? Don't you remember? No, where am I? What is this place? So you wanted to, that's how they found out that if you write something down. Dr. Blank and SB-909 were removed from the room amid confusion from all personnel involved in the incident. SB-909 later explained the situation to uninvolved personnel and was placed in his holding cell. Dr. Blank was discharged from duty and given a Class B amnestic. Well, that... oh wait, no, addendum. The document shown was in the possession of SB-909. SB-905 stated that it lost its copy in the breeze. SB-913 apparently ingested its own copy. SB-917 had held similar lists, which can be found in document 917A, and SB-920 claims to have misplaced its copy. So, in the next 20 SCPs, we will find 3 more of the Dr. One Entertainment Mr. line. Okay. Okay. Hey, yeah, nice. Alright. There we go. There we go. Yeah. So I felt weird. Here it is. Oh. So the final content and Tunnel of Infinite Impossibility, they're actually very close to how much I enjoyed reading them. I just really like when an SCP actually changes how the file is written. It's just fun. It's just really good fun to see that. And Tunnel of Infinite Possibility, I just love that we got to see some other SCPs again that I already read, and a different take on them, basically. Like if Killer Tomatoes wasn't a thing, it could have been a Killer Pineapple, you know. You tell a bad joke to a pineapple, which, by the way, we already know that the Killer Tomatoes can reach a insane speed and kill you. But I feel like a pineapple at that same speed, even though of course, again, at certain speeds you would not feel anything, you would literally just be dead afterwards. Like you would blink and nothing, blackness. But I feel like a pineapple coming at you at that speed definitely would hurt more. An exploratory vehicle, again, I really like the idea of just a car that you just it's basically the magic school bus. It's basically the magic school bus, except that you visit different planets. Collocated rock. Honestly, I learned a new word, collocated, which is a lot of fun to say, to be honest. And I think it's pretty dope how there was basically this it started off like this mystery. It's like, okay, so this rock is on different places at the same time, but then after a while you find out wait, there are actually people on this rock. But then you also find out oh no, it's literally this rock is connected to who knows how many different times in the past, maybe even in the future. We don't know. But so far, that only has given you signs that it was connected to the past. So, scouring hive. honestly, the idea of a mass of worms forming themselves into a human being and then saying your name in a hoarse, raspy voice is very freaky. Um, the fact that they secrete acidic juices is like, yeah, that's bad by itself, but that's like something a lot of the SCPs already do. Like they let out something out that's not good for you to touch or be close by. But the fact that it does this, like the idea of like a human-shaped mass of worms. City of the Sun. I think this it was a strong story, definitely a very strong story. I like the priestess. I think it's really cool. I think like just like as a fantasy, it does really well. And again, it has like moments where it reminds me of the Mandela catalog, but it also has like moments that's just like sounds like either you die of drowning internal like water appearing into your lungs and you drown, you burn from the inside out, or you get raptured. So none of the outcomes sound really solid. And it's a big city too, so yeah. Mr. Forgetful, I think what really sells this is that in the moment he writes stuff down, you forget it and he remembers it, which is just like, I wonder if you can I guess there's no way to like reverse the effect. Like I don't think in the moment somebody else writes the same thing down, that he forgets it and you gain it back. So, but yeah, no. Also, it's a really cool way to like find out like, hey, in the next couple SCPs, you will find some couple of Dr. One Entertainment misters walking around. So I'm excited to learn about them. A short poem. I'll survive that. But for anybody who is into poems, my condolences. I'm sorry, but you're gonna die. Well, I guess I would die too, because it does say if you don't try to rhyme on purpose, then shit might go wrong for you as well. So yeah, Mr. Chameleon. Mr. Chameleon and Mr. Forgetful are a cool pair. I gotta say, it's a really cool way to like pair them up. But yeah, Mr. Chameleon is, has some humor to himself. Like, would you really like? How would you feel if you ate your own shit? Yeah, the building on the square. Stop boy Tatsui. Just like police and a bit of a torture interrogation happening there. I like the idea that like they want to like prevent the door from closing, and then there's just a bunch of people inside the house with like weapons, just like you don't want to do that, no. And at first like the agents are like, hey, we gotta do that. It's orders from some company, and then after a while like the people inside the house are so intimidating that you're like, you know what? No, I don't want to risk my life for this. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. We'll take our stuff. And they're like, no. You're coming in here. Fuck. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed today's stream. It's good to be back. And so Wednesday will be Dead Island with Lexi again. Friday will be Hades. And then yeah, we get on with the 900s, 910s, and 920s, which will have 3 Mr. Dr. One Entertainment. I wonder if we have read majority of them by now. Like I feel like we probably are reaching the halfway point of the Misters, maybe. Actually, I can check right now. So there's Mr. Fish, Mr. Brass, Mr. Hot, Mr. Chameleon, Mr. Forgetful. Okay, so those are the ones we read. We read 5. And there are 20. Okay, we're not even close to the halfway point yet. Well, we are a quarter through. Wait, what about Miss Sweetie? Have you seen Miss Sweetie? Nope. Okay. Yeah, no, Miss Reed we haven't had a chance to meet yet. Okay, so we'll have 8. Actually, no. From the looks of it, yeah, 9 misters in total are here. Yes, there are 9 misters in the first 1,000. So we're almost halfway. By the time we finish with the 900s, we'll be halfway, almost halfway with the misters from Dr. One Entertainment. But yes, I hope you all enjoyed today's stream. I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, evening. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. The Afro is with you.